ਰਾਗ ਆਸਾ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਚੌਥਾ। ਸੋ ਪੁਰਖ ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ। ਸੋ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰੰਜਨ ਹਰ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰੰਜਨ। ਹਰ ਅਗਮਾ ਅਗਮ ਅਪਾਰਾ। ਸਭ ਧਿਆਵੇ ਤੁਧ ਜੀ ਹਰ ਸੱਚੇ ਸਿਰਜਣ ਹਾਰਾ। ਸਭ ਜੀ ਤੁਮਾਰੇ ਜੀ ਤੂੰ ਜੀਆਂ ਕਾ ਦਾਤਾਰਾ। ਹਰ ਧਿਆਵੋ ਸੰਤੋ ਜੀ ਸਭ ਦੁਖ ਵਿਸਾਰਨ ਹਾਰਾ। ਹਰ ਆਪੇ ਠਾਕਰ ਹਰ ਆਪੇ ਸੇਵਕ ਜੀ ਕਿਆ ਨਾਨਕ ਜੰਤ ਵਿਚਾਰਾ। ਤੂੰ ਘਟ ਘਟ ਅੰਤਰ ਸਰਬ ਨਿਰੰਤਰ ਜੀ ਹਰ ਏਕੋ ਪੁਰਖ ਸਮਾਣਾ। ਇੱਕ ਦਾਤੇ ਇੱਕ ਭੇਖਾਰੀ ਜੀ ਸਭ ਤੇਰੇ ਚੋਜ ਵਿਡਾਣਾ। ਤੂੰ ਆਪੇ ਦਾਤਾ ਆਪੇ ਭੁਗਤਾ ਜੀ ਹਉ ਤੁਧ ਬਿਨ ਅਵਰ ਨਾ ਜਾਣਾ। ਤੂੰ ਪਾਰ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਬੇਅੰਤ ਜੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਕਿਆ ਗੁਣ ਆਖ ਵਖਾਣਾ। ਜੋ ਸੇਵੈ ਤੁਧ ਜੀ ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਤਿਨ ਕੁਰਬਾਣਾ। ਹਰ ਧਿਆਵੇ ਤੁਧ ਜੀ ਸੇ ਜਨ ਜੁਗ ਮੈਂ ਸੁਖ ਵਾਸੀ। ਸੇ ਮੁਕਤ ਭਏ ਜਿਨ ਹਰ ਧਿਆਇਆ ਜੀ ਤਿਨ ਟੂਟੀ ਜਮ ਕੀ ਫਾਸੀ। ਜਿਨ ਹਰ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਧਿਆਇਆ ਜੀ ਤਿਨ ਕਾ ਭਉ ਸਭ ਗਵਾਸੀ। ਜਿਨ ਸੇਵਿਆ ਮੇਰਾ ਹਰ ਜੀ ਤੇ ਹਰ ਹਰ ਰੂਪ ਸਮਾਸੀ। ਸੇ ਧਨ ਜਿਨ ਹਰ ਧਿਆਇਆ ਜੀ ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਤਿਨ ਬਲ ਜਾਸੀ। ਤੇਰੀ ਭਗਤ ਭੰਡਾਰ ਜੀ ਭਰੇ ਬੇਅੰਤਾ। ਤੇਰੇ ਭਗਤ ਸਲਾਹਨ ਤੁਧ ਜੀ ਹਰ ਅਨਕ ਅਨੇਕ ਅਨੰਤਾ। ਤੇਰੀ ਅਨਕ ਕਰੇ ਹਰ ਪੂਜਾ ਜੀ ਤਪ ਤਾਪੈ ਜਪੇ ਬੇਅੰਤਾ। ਤੇਰੇ ਅਨੇਕ ਪੜੇ ਬਹੁ ਸਿਮਰਤ ਸਾਸਤ ਜੀ ਕਰ ਕਿਰਿਆ ਖਟ ਕਰਮ ਕਰੰਤਾ। ਸੇ ਭਗਤ ਭਲੇ ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਜੀ ਜੋ ਪਾਵੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਹਰ ਭਗਵੰਤਾ। ਤੂੰ ਆਦ ਪੁਰਖ ਅਪਰੰਪਰ ਕਰਤਾ ਜੀ ਤੁਧ ਜੇਵੜ ਅਵਰ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ। ਤੂੰ ਜੁਗ ਜੁਗ ਏਕੋ ਸਦਾ ਤੂੰ ਏਕੋ ਜੀ ਤੂੰ ਨਿਹਚਲ ਕਰਤਾ ਸੋਈ। ਤੁਧ ਆਪੈ ਭਾਵੈ ਸੋਈ ਵਰਤੈ ਜੀ ਤੂੰ ਆਪੈ ਕਰੈ ਸੋ ਹੋਈ। ਤੁਧ ਆਪੇ ਸ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਟ ਸਭ ਉਪਾਈ ਜੀ ਤੁਧ ਆਪੇ ਸਿਰਜ ਸਭ ਗੋਈ। ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਵੇ ਕਰਤੇ ਕੀ ਜੀ ਜੋ ਸਭ ਸੇ ਕਾ ਜਾਣ ਹੋਈ। ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਵੇ ਕਰਤੇ ਕੀ ਜੀ ਜੋ ਸਭ ਸੇ ਕਾ ਜਾਣ ਹੋਈ।
The Bani is titled So Purakh. So Purakh in English simply means that cosmic being, that personality. Purush, it comes from the word Purush. But here the attribution is to a cosmic Purush. And so that's the name of the Bani is this. So Purakh Niranjan, Har Purakh Niranjan, Har Agma Agam Apara. So that cosmic person, Hari, is without blemish, beyond Maya, beyond reach, without end. Sab त्याग है तुझ जी, har सच्चे सृजनहारा. All creation reflects on you, thinks of you, meditates on you. You can use either one of these expressions. You are the true creator. Sab ji tumhare ji, tu jiyan ka datara. All beings belong to you. You are the provider. Har त्यागो santo ji, sab dukh visaran hara. Reflect on Hari. I did not know what an appropriate translation for Santo would be, so I've just used the word as it appears. So reflect on Hari, for Hari is the dispeller of all sorrow. Haryape Thakur Haryape Sevak Ji Kya Nanak Jant Vichara. Hari is the Lord and the servant himself. What can I say? This is Nanak saying. Tu ghat ghat antar sarab nirantar ji har eko purkh samana. You are in every body, a ghat meaning body, with the same essence everywhere, nirantar, without any difference. You are one cosmic person, identical everywhere. Ik date, ik bekhari ji. Some are givers and some are beggars. Now, I have an alternative translation for that I would suggest to you is that you could also say some are purified in their minds and some are polluted in their minds, but it is all your play. Sab tere choj vidana. Tu ape data, ape karta ji. How tudvin avar na jana. You are the giver, you are the consumer. I see none other. तू पार ब्रह्म बेअंत बेअंत जी, तेरे क्या गुण आंख बखाना. You are beyond reach with no end. How can I possibly describe you? Hanji, thank you, Dilpreet. Carry on.
Anji. So again, what jumps out to me is in this whole thing is that as we are talking about so purakh, and it is again explaining our mool mantra further, where we say ik onkar satnam karta purakh. So if we take the reference from there, it is again saying that the same thing is prevailing and pervading in everything. It says that sab ji tumhare ji tum jiyan ka datara, and then it also says har ape thakar har ape sevak ji kya nanak jant vichara. So it is again saying that everybody is equal and it is the same creator, or we all are same. Either it's somebody is a king or a data who gives things, and then the whoever is on the receiving end, but at the end it is only you who is pervading through all of us. And then again in the second stanza it says to kat kat antar sarv nirantar ji. So now it is replacing the so purak and it is addressed as tu. And then in the second stanza the emphasis is jo seve tudji jan nanak tin kurbana. So again the now Guru Nanak is taking us to the Seve. So the Seve can be interpreted as one way is that who is in your hukam or who follows or your hukam or who is understanding and walking in the hukam. So Guru Nanak is kurbana to those guys that okay Guru. So now if we see in the third stanza that
So, are you just
again
doing one, or are you going all over?
I was trying to cover all five and then we can come back. I was thinking because it is a common theme there.
Okay.
Because in the third one, if we say it again, in the what line jumps out to me is the last but one that jin sevya mera harji. So in the first stanza, it is referred as Purak. In the second stanza, it is referred as Tu. In the third one, it is referred as Hari. But it is the same definition of the same entity. Jin sevya mere harji te har Roop Samasi. Now it is again saying that whoever understands the hukam or whoever gets all those his virtues or guns which we call, and then it is saying that okay, you become the same thing. There will be no difference between you and him once you attain those qualities. And then the next stanza is interesting. What jumps out to me is that tere Bhagat Pandarji, that okay, lot of things people are doing or showing that they are doing the devotion, and then Guruji talks about that they are salahin turji and then they are doing puja, he is saying. But at the end he is giving his message that se bhagat phale jan nanak ji jo pave mere har bhagwanta, that all these other deeds whatever you are doing is not going to help you, but the main punchline here is that jo pave mere har bhagwanta. Again in many places he will be saying that okay, this outside deeds or outside doings will not impress him, but if you are in hukam or if you are loving nature or humanity or whatever is taught by Gurbani, if we are practicing those things and if it is reflecting in our day to day action, those are the people who will be loved by him. So again the last stanza, then the same thing again he backs refers him as the Ad Purakh, and then he says Jan Nanak gun gave karte ke ji jo sabse ka jana. So again the theme here is that it is redefining the definition of Ik Onkar and the Karta Purakh, that it is the same thing pervading in all of us everywhere, and by our reflection on hukam or good deeds, we can be close to it, and that is the way to get close to him. So that is the whole theme which I am understanding from this. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Dilpreet. So, I think what I would suggest is that we don't confine ourselves to the first stanza because there are obvious links. So, Chetandeep, let me start with you. What's your take on this Sopurak Bani? It is a common Bani that most of us read every day. And maybe we've had to pause today and reflect on what exactly is it saying to us. So, do you
Uh,
want to take a stab? Go ahead.
Hanji Vizi. Yeah, I mean, we often do it daily or frequently, but this is the first time that I'm pausing and kind of trying to reflect what it says. I mean, it's very soothing when I read it. It gives a sense of calmness, but I think it's a lot to actually grasp and understand five stanzas in a short amount of time. But I have a couple of questions to begin with. So, actually, two questions to be precise. So, the first question I have is kind of the choice of words Guru Sahib is using, so purakh, right? I mean, he's using the male word so purakh here. So, how does this fit in with the divine feminine that had come up before in our discussions? And second question is a kind of a paradox that stands out to me, which is the second line, सब त्यावे तुझी हर सच्चे सिरजनहारा. So he's saying कि सब त्यावे सारे already तेनों त्यारे हैं, सब त्यावे, right? And then again, the next stanza says हर त्यावे तुझी, like those who do it. But isn't the second line here suggesting that everybody, sub is already doing it, like सारे तेनों त्यारे ने already?
Okay, so those were your questions. What's your take on this?
No, I mean, I'm still to. I said it's very relaxing to me or very soothing to my mind when I even, no matter what state I am in, the moment I read this Bani, it gives me a sense of calmness. I cannot explain the meanings, but
Okay.
I can just share my feelings. Like this is a feeling I get. Like it's very close to my heart.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to your questions. Let's give the others a chance. Eileen, do you want to get the ball rolling in terms of what Chetandeep is asking? How is Purakh? Maybe he's assuming that Purakh is gender based. Perhaps it is not, but I'll let you take that on if you want to and share with us your impressions.
Yeah, that distinction is lost on me a little bit just because of the nuance in the language.
Yeah.
So I don't, I didn't, that one didn't really strike me as such, right? I guess I was I was actually kind of more thinking more along the lines of the some of the paradox that Chetanji Birji is raising about the um you know who is being spoken to, what are the actions, some of those nuances there were standing out to me. I didn't pick up on that one exactly about, if it's sub, all creatures are, participating in this kind of, I guess, closeness to the creator, um but yet there's also this separation, the agam apara.
Mhm.
That one is like that one struck me as a very like I was kind of translating it as kind of a unfathomable, or a very great distance or something like that. Like it was striking me as like a vast kind of separation, which struck me as a little bit odd, to think about.
Well, I
um
think you might think of these as the qualities that he's describing, right? So he's referring to this cosmic person, which he calls Hari in places, and So in other places, and Purush in other places. Purakh is he's just trying to tell us that it is not under the it is beyond reach. Agam is really beyond reach, and apar means without end, because there you have the negative in front of both the words gum and par, which means gum, so it's beyond reach and beyond and without an end. So that might just be an attributive description. I'm not, we will see what the others think.
okay, G.
Okay. So Chetandeep, I mean, before I lead on to some of the, I think that I want others to actually comment on whether Purukh is really a gender-based word. As far as I know, it isn't. It really means that which is homogenized in its creation, just like milk, yeah, just like butter is homogenized in milk, and flint is homogenized in, and fire is homogenized in sort of wood. I think that's the concept. In Punjabi, it is purya hoya, one who is ramya hoya in its creation. And that is really the meaning of Purakh as I understand it. We'll see what others have to say. With that, let me move on to, I see Gurdeep Singh Virji on? Gurdeep Singh Virji, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਹੋ ਅੱਜ?
Hanji, sorry if I miss all thing the meaning of from Sopurkh, right?
Hanji.
Sopurkh is only one. Nari te jo purkh karave, purkhan te jo nari, eka purkh, hor sagli nar savai. Like Gurbani is like husband and wife. We all are so-called gender. We cannot put to highlight this gender. We all are naris. And Purkh is the only one, that supreme power, the God. And with his grace, from Nari te Purkh, with the devotion, with the love, with Gurbani reading, with doing all these efforts, then we merge into him. So then we become Purkh also, otherwise we are all Naris. Eko Purkh, hor sagli nar savai. Everybody else is in the form of Nari.
Hanji.
So this is how I understand. And
Hanji, Chetandeep, does that lend to some clarity here?
No, I mean, I understand that that's the context the Gurbani takes, that there is only one Purakh. But
no, even the etymological meaning of Purukh is not gender-based. We have come to use it to signify masculine
if you see
gender.
in the very common language, right? I mean, the Purush.
Yes, it is. But if you look at its etymology, it is not gender-based. This is what I've seen in the dictionary.
Sure. And actually, the part of my question is, how does it relate to the divine feminine that people have mentioned on this forum? So
there is no divine, no feminine or gender. This is no.
ठीक है वीर जी.
In Gurbani, I
Hanji.
think.
So Hanji, ठीक है. Hanji, कुलवंत कौर Hanji.
The word Sopurak Niranjan, what I see is it says Sopurak, the one who is all pervasive. He's in everyone. Purishete means iti purush, which is in continuously in everything in his creations. So he's all pervasive. That's what I'm seeing right now in my. And he is a Niranjan. I mean, all the adjectives used. Niranjan means he is, without Maya, and without the effect of Maya, he's everywhere, and he's Agam, and he's Apar. He is the one who is continuously pervasive in his creation. That's what I see on my Gutka Sahib I have right in front of me.
Okay. ठीक है जी. Thank you. Right. So we've done a round of the Shabad, and I think we focused a little more on Sopurak in part to address Chetandeep's question. But I think that is a good place to begin, because the Bani has a definite name to it. And it is interesting to note that it is called so. I mean, the creator is being referred to as so, that. So, it gives you the differences between the languages as well, in Punjabi and English, because if you had to translate this. But I want to start the other round. But before I do that, I mean, my take on this, I have not reflected too much on this, but quite apart from the fact that it may be an explanation, as Dilpreet says, of the Mool Mantar. I think just about every Shabad in Gurbani is an elaboration on the Mool Mantar in one shape or form. So, but I think what this appears to me, the 5 passages, are glorification of the Creator. And this is a theme that I find that runs through Guru Nanak over and over and over again. He's constantly glorifying the Creator. And there are certain things that he's always saying, that you are unknowable, you're unfathomable, you're beyond reach. And but those who are trying to or living in your awareness are people who are truly blessed. So he seems to be suggesting here that on the one hand, you have this unknowable, unfathomable, beyond reach purakh, but in essence, it runs through all of us. It's the same in essence. I would question Dilpreet's version of saying that we are all the same. I don't think we're all the same. I think we're all the same in essence. That same essence is running through us, and then what we make of it is really up to us, and that is where these differences start coming in. In essence, we are indeed all the same. So my question to you all is, and this is the question: why does Guru Nanak feel the need to constantly hammer this theme that he's unknowable on the one hand, he's unfathomable, and yet, on the other hand, he's saying that unless you live in the awareness of this thing or whatever that is not knowable, seems like a bit of a contradiction to me, right? And I want to throw that out. I want that to be something that we can discuss. So I'm going to go back to Chetan Deep and we'll do the round. So Chetan Deep.
Before you do that,
Before I delve into that, I want to kind of remind that I had asked a second question in the first round about Satyave, kind of a paradox. So if we could touch that also, I could get some clarification.
Okay, so based on what I said, my take on that is yes, it struck me as a paradox too. But then I said, well, maybe there is some nuance to the meaning of the word Teave in the first and the second, because a lot of these words have multiple layers of meaning and they are used differently, even in the same passage sometimes. I'm not sure if that's the right answer, but I suspect that may be the case, which is why because we're taking it to mean the same thing.
So
Okay.
again, as you said, the word Tyave, I was thinking maybe it is possible that the word sub in the second line is referring to something else, and the word sub in the line third. For example, is it possible that Guru Bacha is stating his state of mind and he's saying like sub Tyave, as in every part of my body is living in the awareness now, right? He's just stating his state of consciousness, right?
So, yeah, I mean, sub is obviously all, right? Here it is a quantity. The CRE would denote that, right? Sub stands for a quantity, as far as I can tell. Um, so I don't know if it's self-referent, if he's referring to himself, but I feel like so I'm focused more on the word Tyave. You perhaps are thinking about sub, but nonetheless, I think that there may be some nuances that are different here that are causing us this confusion. I'm just thinking along those lines, and I'm not sure.
sure. Can I offer a thought on the
Please,
question?
we would welcome that.
So, I mean, I was thinking about what you said about glorification and why there is so much of repetition.
Mhm.
So, as I was listening to you, I felt like Guru Pasha has not stated the Bani for the purpose of glorifying Sopurak, right? I think Guru Pasha is writing or stating his state of mind. So, for example, if I'm in awe of something, right, I just keep talking about it. I just keep thinking about it and saying it in different manners, not for the explicit purpose of glorification, but because that's all I know. That's all I can do, basically, right? So it just comes out. And the question being, and he's also asking us to live in the awareness. I think, I mean, as we have discussed many times, right? I mean, he's in a different state of mind, or he's in a different state of being, rather, maybe no mind state, and he's just glorifying and asking us to join him in seeing that reality that we are not yet able to see.
Yeah, no, I think that is certainly something that I could very easily subscribe to. Absolutely. I mean, I think the entire Bani is nothing more than an invitation to all of us to, in fact, partake of that state of mind that the Guru is in, I mean, Guru Nanak is in, or Guru Ramdas is in. So, absolutely, I would agree with that. But I just want to get a feel for how people think. And I think you make a good point. I mean, that they are in awe. I mean, this is Vismad speaking, right? I mean, Vismadi hoke bolna. And when you are in that state of Vismad, that is what happens. You just keep repeating, or you keep saying, like when you're taken up with something, you're constantly talking about that something. No, so thank you. Dilpreet, do you want to add to that?
Hanji Virji, I think again it is you said it very right because it looks like contradicting if we see him as a separate entity sitting outside somewhere. Because if we see as it starts with Ik Onkar and Karta Purakh, so if we take Ik Onkar is that this whole thing, the whole Kudrat is the manifestation of him. And now, once we say it is a manifestation of him, and then it says, Dui Kudrat Saj ke vich asan dittha chao, that okay, this is his manifestation, so this is his, which we can call as a Sargun Roop. And then again, Bhagat ji says, Ibe Ube Beetal bin Sansar nahi, that okay, he is pervading in everything. So now the question comes that how can we meet him, or how can we communicate with him? So that is where Gurbani or Guru Nanak, what I understand, is taking a different approach. That okay, he says it is a something that to solve the riddle that we have to bujna, and then he says that it is our ultimate human potential which we have is to attaining the qualities and which are his qualities, and that is how we become like him or a part of him. And so again, the meeting is Guru Nanak's way of meeting him is that you attain those qualities and you become one of, or you become like the same molecule or the same characteristics, and that is how in somewhere it will say that you will merge with him, because the only like particles, or when we have the same qualities, we will merge. And then Kabir Sahib will say that, says that Harjan aisa chahiye jaisa har hi hoye. So then there will be no difference. So the two thing is that okay, once it is, he
So
is
Dilpreet,
there. Hanji.
but how do you reconcile that with the idea that we're already being told that he's already that this entity or the essence is already in us, and that we are really. So where's the difference?
So the difference is that is where it says that the Maya, or that our affections or our other things which we are attaining, or the Kurdi Pal, or that is the wall in between us. So and then that is the, because we have that essence, and we, that is why we have that potential to attain all these qualities, and attaining all these qualities is our goal. And once we attain, that is how we will merge and we will become a part of him.
So the
Because
essence. So the essence is the potential.
yes, we have the
Okay.
potential, and
Okay.
then we have to use that potential, and we have to fly to the heights to attain that potential. Thank you.
Okay. Um, Eileen. So Dilpreet has talked in terms of attaining heights and kind of removing differences. Could it be that when we actually arrive at a certain potential, that we will find that we were always there, that we really didn't have to go anywhere, that we just had to awaken to that potential? Just a thought, and just consider that in your response.
Yeah, I think that seems to be the only available answer, because the awareness of this, the sopurak that's within, right, would be the only thing left. I mean, according to this Shabad, it's kind of um, the only thing that hasn't been explained, I guess. And I think that's why to your earlier question, it keeps coming back around and around and around is because it's so difficult. I mean, the paradox that I take away here, that's the challenge is that, you know, the Sopurak is inside every heart, and yet so there's this sort of unification, there's this oneness, and yet at the same time, some are the givers and some are beggars, or there are these differences, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that then so somehow there's also at the same time everyone is the same, everyone is also different in a play. So
Yep.
the question kind of becomes, well, what part of this is the sameness? What part is the play? What part is the hukum, right?
Yeah.
And what, you know, which parts of the which are the virtues? I mean, if you know, Sopurak is in everything, and then there's also, you know, begging and like we were talking about in the last session, there's also you know, pain and suffering. Well, which part is then? What are the qualities, right? What are
Yeah.
the characteristics, right? So I think the only answer is to somehow through that meditation to find some kind of an inner knowledge of exactly where that where that creator is, and to build the connection to intuitively know,
Yeah.
because there's no way through reason to sort that out.
Yeah, no, I absolutely, because I think the contradiction, you put it very well. There's unification and yet there's differences, because he says it right here, right? I mean, he's saying tu ghat ghat antar sarab nirantar. Sarab nirantar means without any difference, no antar, no difference, right? And ghat ghat
Mm-hmm.
antar meaning inside of every body, a vessel. And yet, in the very next line, he goes on to say, "Ik date ik bekhari ji, sab tere choj vidana." But he says, some are givers, some are beggars, but it is all your play. And that is, I think, what makes this so very fascinating. Let's see what Gurdeep Singh Virji has to say. Anji, Gurdeep Singh ji?
It's a play, it's a drama controlled by the supreme power.
Anji.
We are the actors on the stage. We have to act exactly what he wants us to do.
Mm.
So it doesn't matter how it does. And then other place it says Simre Tati or Kasa. Everybody is in his Simran, in his
Right.
remembering him. Whether Panki or more, Bin Har Simrat Nahi Hai Kuch Hor. Gurbani says, if my lines may not be very correct, but everybody, because like a mother and all the kids runs after the mother. He the supreme mother, and we are all players, actors, and it's a play here on this earth. And nothing is coming and nothing is going, you know. So that's why some people, even if they are a Pikhari, they're happy. Some are not, because we're controlled by the Maya. And only point is to get rid of this Maya, the clutches of the Maya, to get in tune with the power. As Ikunkar said very well, and Dilpreet also. It's very clear to me, we are all the players here of the team.
Right.
Body means nothing, actually, there are souls. Somewhere Jot has soy. That one is important. Body has nothing to do, it's very temporarily. It's like a dream. Thank you very much.
Anji, thank you, Ji. I think something that Gurdeep Singh Virji said just now gave me a thought. Chetandeep, you know, this whole contradiction between Pyave. So Virji said, you know, that this Akash simmer kar rahe hain, which means they're already doing it. Now, Simran here has a very different connotation, right? I mean, obviously, Simran here means that they're acting according to the hukam, that they are in hukum. Bismad, I think in Asa Ki War, there is a similar passage. So it could very well be that we are all living within this hukum in the first couple of lines. I'm just trying to expand that thought. Um, Kuldeep Kaur Penji, Kulwant Kaur Penji, do you have anything to add?
Hanji Virji.
Anji, go ahead.
Yeah. You can. I think, as you just said before, that we all have the potential. We are all in the zone of proximity, and Guru is the scaffolding which helps us to reach there. You know, to help us to break the Kur Dipal, and then we can understand. You know, like we are talking about the paradox.
So when you say scaffolding, I like the idea. But are we
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
reach
yeah.
someplace with a scaffolding? A ladder might work, or are we trying to construct something with a scaffolding?
Scaffolding is, yeah, scaffolding is which
We use
I must,
scaffoldings to build things, right? But to climb up to somewhere, we could also use a ladder.
yes,
So my
yes.
question really is: are we trying to reach somewhere, or are we trying to build up something?
I think we are trying to reach somewhere. We are trying to find out
Is it a
as we,
physical place that we're going to?
no, we realize that, within us, we are not finding any physical place, but which is within us, we cannot actually get connected to that. And
So it's
beyond,
really an expansion of your consciousness. It's really,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
So you need a scaffolding for that.
yes.
ठीक है जी.
Yes, I'm a school teacher. We use this word. We use scaffolding to teach kids when
हाँ
we,
जी.
yes. So that's why I use
हाँ
this
जी.
word.
They need all the support.
Yeah, they need all the support, and we need all that support
हाँ जी.
to understand, to comprehend.
हाँ
Um,
जी.
yeah, that's why I use that word.
ठीक है जी.
Yeah.
Well, we've done 2 rounds. We have about 8 or 9 minutes left, and I know that I do not really have any other uh, thought or observation that I want to throw out. If anyone wants to take a stab or take a few minutes to speak of anything that they wish to, any final thoughts, feel free. I'll do it turn by turn. So Chetandeep, any final thoughts?
Maybe not at this time.
Anji, Dilpreet Singh ji.
Anjiviji, one thought is there, right? See, we talked about that it is a play, and we also say that we have a role to play. But again, I have that it is role is not predefined. Okay, we have a concept of free will also, but again, we may have a illusion also that okay, our free will is such a big, it may be very limited. But I think in our roles we have a little bit of free will to do some efforts, to put some effort, and we have to take responsibility of our actions, and that much of free will is there, and that's where it makes us different from each other and what we are attaining. Thank you.
Anji, I wanted to add that yes, the world is a stage, as Shakespeare said, and indeed it is a large stage. But there's one difference, right? In a play, you usually have a director who's visible, who writes the script for you, and the actor is bound by the script. Here, the script is not fully written out for you.
Right, it
Hookham
is
is
not,
there.
we are not fully hardwired, right? There is
That's what
some
I mean. I
hardwiring,
mean,
but
so you get a script that has blanks in it, and it is up to you how you're going to fill those blanks, right? So I think that is what makes a difference. That is what gives you the illusion of being able to do things differently, and changing your roles, as you said. So there's no director standing there in front of you giving you a written script, but it is a play nonetheless, where we are all creating roles for each other. And I think that's the beauty of it. The interaction that we all have as individuals is what is creating the play. I mean, we are all together constructing the drama, right?
yeah.
So, Eileen, any final thoughts?
Well, I think mostly I look at that free will question and Shabba's like this to point me to the mind. So the free will really, the heart of it is in the mind. So that no matter whether it's whatever the situation is. I mean, I think even on the comments and the emails we're talking about kind of Holocaust and extreme situations or suffering, the givers and beggars, all in the play. I think that's the emphasis that I get as a takeaway is, irrespective of that, your mind is always, you always have the ability to be free within your mind and cultivate that awareness, right? That doesn't have to be influenced by the Maya.
Beautifully
Um,
said. Yes, indeed.
But I do have one question, maybe for next time that we might come back to. Is just I thought it was interesting. There's in the Shabbat later and later on to understand whether this is really kind of a call to use devotion in any form, because it does talk about the puja and the shastras, and it just sort of says all. It seemed to me to say all devotion is wonderful. And that was just a different take than we had in Japji and some other areas. So I just thought that was interesting.
We can certainly take it up the next time.
Yeah.
In fact, I have an interest in that. I think that we tend to sort of dismiss some of these other practices of devotion, but I made a note of it.
Okay, thank you, Ji.
Yeah. Anji Gurdeep Singh Birji, any final thoughts?
Yes, we are all actors and we are under the control of Maya because God created Maya, Agyakari ki ni Maya. And Maya has been ordered not to let these human beings to get out of their roles and all those of things. That's under the theory of karma. As you sow, so shall you reap. But then the God, the one who created, he felt pity on human beings. Then he sent all the gurus and he also sent all like Christ and Muhammad and gurus and all that so that they can help us how to get rid out of the control of the Maya. So that's the Chautha Pad in Guru Granth Sahib. Once you have access in the Chautha Pad, Chauthe Pad ko je manipate aaye. Then you can be saved from the clutches of the Maya. Otherwise, it will keep us in the rebirth, death and life, whether we believe it or not. This is what I believe it. So how to get rid of the Maya, clutches of the Maya, we need the Guru's help. Guru created Gurvani. Gurvani will take us into Chautha Pad, and Chautha Pad you will be a free will. You want to Gurmukh Mare na janme. Gurmukh apni marji. Then will have their own will to come back to this earth as a human being or not, or to stay somewhere else.
Anji.
This is what I think. Thank you.
Anji, thank you. No, you've just described the whole play. You've just pretty much laid out the whole play, right? I mean, the creation of Maya and we getting caught in Maya and then Gurbani being a way out. That is the entire play. Hanji Bajwa Virji, any final thoughts? I hope you enjoyed your participation here today.
No, thank you for allowing me to participate.
Quite
It was
welcome.
enjoying, but I was wondering about your original question that on one hand, initially in the first line, it says Agam Apara, Agam, as you said, Jithe tak pahunchiya nahi ja sakda, where you cannot reach. Apara, par means Jede Samundar da Parla Banna means you cannot see the other end of the ocean. But at the same time, you said we can't even describe this, Guru Nanak is saying, and then still he wants us to be aware of it. That's what your question was, wasn't it?
My suggestion for a discussion.
Yeah. But my take on that would be that coming from Mool Japji, the Bani Jithe Likha Hoya Bhi Hukam Rajai Chalna Nanak Likhya Naal. So we shouldn't actually worry about it. Whatever has to happen will happen. Yes, we have to just realize that we cannot describe God Almighty. However hard we try, we cannot describe the vastness of the creation of this universe. And that is why the gurus have tried to describe it in the 1429 pages.
And all they've said to us is that it cannot be described.
It cannot be described, but you should be aware of it. And Hukam Rajai Chalna Nanak Likhya Naal. That's what my take is. But as I said, I'm in a very first step of learning.
No, thank you. We all are. We are all learners, and we are doing it together. That's what Sangat is all about. Anji Kulwant Kaur Penji, you have about 30 seconds.
Yeah, Vijay, I think that instead of describing him, we should start realizing him. We describe him more and realize less. So if we start realizing him a lot.
Thank you very much, all of you, for a great discussion. And we will begin next week with the question that Eileen has raised, because I don't think we are quite done with the entire composition here. So next week, hopefully, we'll have a little more structure in terms of how we want to go through the piece. But thank you very much, and have a great evening, whatever's left of it, and a good week. We'll see you next week. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.